Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool pinball repair video for you today. This is a Williams Jubilee that we've been messing around with for quite a while. Now, if you saw any of our previous videos, this thing was completely destroyed when it came in. And it is now time for us to try to fix up the playfield a little bit. So I figured we would start the video. We're kind of in the middle of some of the other videos and some of the other repairs, but we can do them all at the same time. So if you go back, we have done several on this one, but this will be the one focusing on the playfield. It is actually, in my opinion, in decent shape. You may not agree, but I had one of these not too long ago that we did that was completely destroyed. So to me, this one is in great shape. So first of all, they get a lot of wear out of these little holes have a coil that shoots the ball. And you get a lot of wear on this. So you can even see the dirt on the playfield. But on this one, it's actually in pretty good shape. There's not hardly any wear. I mean, there's wear, but the paint isn't missing, right? So that'll clean up pretty well, I think. So we're looking good there. We do have paint missing over here, probably from rats. That can easily be touched up. That's not that big of a deal, and it's in a good spot. It's way over by the side where you don't pay much attention. Okay, coming farther up, most of this looks pretty good. All of the plastics are in pretty good shape. I think they're all faded, but they look pretty good. Over here, everything's cool, but then on this side, you have the same issue where I think rats have been pissing the night away or something, right? I hope that's piss. And it's tore the paint up pretty bad, but again, it's way over here in the corner. This can easily be touched up. I think we'll be able to do a pretty good job on that. So I think this is actually in pretty nice shape. Got a little bit of wear up here on the hot pink. We may just leave it alone because I tried matching hot pink on the last one and it did not go very well. But who knows? Maybe we'll touch it up. Depends on how I feel. Depends on if I feel feisty. Might do it. And then the apron up here is all screwed up. Look at all the rust and everything. Ugh. 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 The apron down here, decent shape. Needs cleaned, obviously. So all in all, in my opinion, we're starting with a pretty decent playfield compared to some of the crap that I get in. So I ain't scared. I ain't scared at all. Right? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking stuff off the playfield and laying it over here on one of these other pinball machines. And we'll see what we can get done. But I think it's going to clean up pretty good, and then we'll do some paint, match it up a little bit, and I think we'll end up with a fairly decent looking machine, at least the playfield. You can see just how bad this thing actually is once you get everything off of it. Look underneath the apron. Look how the wood is splintered up there. Just disgusting. Look at it. Just look at the filth. And what's crazy is, if you look at the rubber rings, they're not all that dirty. So somebody left it. I mean, I can understand under the apron, maybe they didn't take that off, but they left it this filthy and put new rings on it. Damn. Okay, so we have torn it down, broke it down to everything. You could go even farther if you wanted. You could take the switches off, you could take that wire loop off, but you could take both of the pop bumpers off, which I might do anyway because I'm going to eventually, because I'm going to... I got to replace those skirts. Look at that. Right. But we've got it down to where we can clean it. So our goal is we want to clean this as clean as we can get it. Clean, 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 super, super clean. And then start building it back up. Right. And then hopefully when we're all done, we'll have a really nice, clean looking game. But... just to document, this is what we're starting with. Stuff like this, that should not be there. There's no reason that there is a stain there. I mean, this is like rats have been playing on it. It may have even been outside and got wet or something, which is kind of surprising because inside there's lots of dust and dirt, and it's just I got to get some kind of brush to try to get all that out. I'm gonna take like a paintbrush, I think, and try to sweep kind of under all of those relays to try to vacuum it out better. But yeah, it's just filthy. There's even rust on a little bit of this stuff. So, now with all that said, it is filthy, but I think it's going to be just fine. I think this thing's going to actually clean up pretty good, and it's going to look great when we get done, which will be at the end of this video. So you're going to see it go from filthy and disgusting to very presentable by the end of this video. I don't see anything here that scares me at all. Now the back glass, that's another story, but we'll do that on another video. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it with the vacuum cleaner and just get all the extra dust and dirt that I can off of it. And then I'm going to take literally 409 and spray it on the playfield, and then wipe it down and try to get a lot of this just disgusting dirt off of it. Now, normally you would not want to do that, because whenever you get the playfield wet, it can soak into the wood and cause issues. But this thing's so filthy, people, you can't clean this with wax. No amount of wax is going to clean this damn thing up. We got to scrub this thing with like some freaking degreaser. I might have to put brake cleaner on it or something. I'm just kidding, don't put brake cleaner on it. But I mean, you gotta get kind of aggressive with it when they're this ugly. So I'm going to vacuum it, and then I'll wipe it down as best I can, and then we'll see how it looks after that. And then we're going to clean it up and try to get all of our color back with a magic eraser. So we're magically going to make it go back to 1972. Yeah, let me clean it up a little bit, and then I'll show you what it looks like before we mess with the magic eraser. Alright, so this is how it looked after I wiped it down. Not too much progress yet, but it is. We got all of the trash off of it at least. Vacuumed it off. Cleaned off as much as I could by hand. So some people could stop here, you know? Look at this. Ugh. I gotta go farther than that. So we're going to magic erase it. So magic erasers are this type of foam. It's like really fine foam, and they work really good for cleaning things that are slightly cracked. So if you look at the surface of this playfield, you see all the circular little swirls. That's little cracks in the paint, and the ball has ground dirt down into those little cracks. And so you can clean, and you're not going to get the dirt out of those cracks. But this will, because this is basically, it's really fine, little tiny, it's just like the composition of it is really tiny little things, and it will get down inside those cracks and clean them out. And it's basically like sandpaper, so you got to be very careful, because everywhere you put it, you're basically sanding away just a slight bit of the surface. If I sit here and go like this, that long, it'll be down to bare wood. So you really gotta be careful. So we're going to get this wet, and then we're going to start cleaning it and wiping it away, and it's going to clean up the dirt and make it look much nicer. So, but if you do it to yours, make sure you're very don't like, if yours is really nice and you just got a couple little spots, don't even do it. You can use Novus or something like that. It'll clean pretty good. But this one's just so screwed up. I mean, we got to do something drastic. So this is drastic. So I'll start cleaning on it and let you see what it does. All right, we're going to see if that area cleans up any at all. What do you think? It might. We'll see. We'll see what we're able to get accomplished with the magic eraser. Magically erase it. What part can you see? Oh yeah, you can see that part. Now, you don't want to strive for perfection on this. strive for perfection at the World Series, but whenever you're cleaning one of these, you want to say, you know what, that looks a hell of a lot better than it did. This area right here isn't perfect, but if you look, it's because the paint is already starting to come up a little bit. So, you know, you want to be happy with this. This is much better than this. This is not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than this, right? So, keep in mind you're using sandpaper, you know. So you don't want to go crazy with it. It works pretty good with rubbing alcohol too. Okay, so our preliminary cleaning with the magic eraser. You can see how it all looks so dusty. That's just the white pieces of the eraser falling apart all over the playfield. Has its own little dust to it. So I'm going to go back over it again in certain spots. First thing I'm going to do is just try to wipe all the dust off wet with a wet paper towel again. I'm going to try to go over a couple spots like this again because that still looks so dirty. You know, I'd rather that look more clean. So I'm going to hit that one more time. And then also you have this situation up there where since it's bare wood, there's no art on it. So if you make that all look more bare, it doesn't really matter because you know, there's no art that you're losing. All of this looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. You can see here where it cleaned up all of that area that looked so disgusting before. Got it nice and clean looking at least. This came out pretty good. You can still see though the tracks just barely, but that's as good as I can get it. If I go any more, it's going to tear it up. But let me show you how that looks up close. This is how you're looking at it from a distance, right? But you can see if you get close, it's actually still really dirty. It's just you can't clean it. If you keep going, it will tear the paint up. So that's just as good as you can get it. So it's going to have a light, you know, lines there. But once we clean it and everything else is nice and clean and has nice new rings on it and tons of wax and everything, it'll look just fine. This has cleaned up a little bit, but again, still just need to clean. The shooter trail cleaned out pretty good. So I'm going to wipe it down, get it a little better, and then I'm going to hit that up there again. Let's see if we can get it looking a little better. Okay, folks, so I think I've got it about as clean as I can get it. I went back on this just a little bit more. Got it a little bit better, but we're just going to have to live with it. I don't know why you guys keep bringing that up. I was surprised that this happened. I didn't even see that there was anything there when we started. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. I mean, I knew there was this, but I don't remember there even being all that. But it won't be no problem. So I wiped it all down, and I did get that up there looking a little better. So we're just going to have to live with it like that. So it has issues, but it's already starting to look cleaner, right? Looking a lot better. I just hit the start button. I don't want to start a game. Okay, so I'm going to go grab all of the paints, and we're going to start putting the paint on the playfield. Now, we just use acrylics and just try to get it to match as best we can, and then spray paint some clear over the spots that we painted just so that they don't wear off. So simple as that, easy peasy. And it looks like we have a dark blue, a light blue, a white, a green, and a black that we have to do. So that's not too bad. So let me go grab the paints and we'll see what we can do. All right, folks, so I got a whole bunch of blues. So some of the, if I remember correctly, the background blue on the last one I was able to match right out of the bottle. So this one is nothing like that or that. This one, now buddy, that's pretty close. So we're definitely going to see what that one looks like. This one, too blue. This one is like a dark blue. It doesn't show up on the camera very well, but it's much darker. This one is much brighter. It's kind of like a, what do they call it? Ultramarine blue. It doesn't look like that. And then this one is like a neon blue. So that's not going to work. And then I think this one, true blue, is the one that I used last time. But you know what? Looking now, it looks a little bit, it doesn't quite look purple enough. I might have to watch the old video to see what I used. But that's pretty close. So I think these two here are pretty close. I might have to mix the blue a little bit, the dark one. But we'll see. I'm gonna watch the video and see what I used last time. Okay, so I painted it in a little splotchy. You can see that, you know, and that actually, that area didn't even need paint, but whatever. The true blue wasn't perfect. I had to add a little purple to it to get it right, but and I repainted that up there. But I think that will look pretty good once we clear it. You'll get everything the same sheen. Okay, so now I'm going to try the light blue that we picked out and see if it's anything like a match. I think I'll try it up there so that it won't be as noticeable if it's off. And then we'll go from there. But the first thing I think I'll do is I'm going to get a black paint pen and draw the lines back in so I can see what all we're missing. So let me do that real quick before we do the blue. Alright, something like this. Somebody actually bought us these a long time ago and mailed them to us. But we've had others. This particular brand was pretty good. See, you want it to be water-based just like the other ones. So I used it to ink back in the lines that were missing. And so now it's kind of like a paint by numbers. So we've got the light blue down here is the only thing that still needs it, which is also the same light blue that's up here. And then the green, which is kind of like a neon green. The problem with stuff that's like neon is it's thin. So you just, it doesn't cover very well. So there's that. Light blue, neon. There is a cream color there that was originally white, I guess. It's like a cream now, a buttermilk. And then there's a little bit of orange. There was a little bit of black, but I inked it in with the marker. But you can't use a Sharpie or anything like that, because if you use that, it's basically oil-based or something like oil-based. And whenever you spray clear over it, it'll interact with it and make it run. It'll make the biggest mess you've ever seen. It'll look fine, and then you spray the clear coat over it, and it looks fine, and then it starts going like makeup running all down the face of the machine. And then it's underneath paint, so it's really hard to fix because you have to sand all of the stuff off. So definitely don't use a Sharpie. Big no-no. You have to use acrylic. Okay, so let's do a little bit of the light blue and see if that's anywhere near the right color, and if not, we'll mix it and make it a little better. Okay, so we're moving right through it. We got a little bit of the light blue in. It's a little bit off, but it looks pretty good. Can you see it? I bet you can. Okay, so now I'm going to do the white, like a buttermilk, and I'll set the tripod up so you can see us painting that in whenever we get it mixed right. I'm mixing it a little bit, so like the light blue that I had out of the bottle, I had to put a little bit of green in, because if you look, the Playfield has a little bit of like a yellowish tint. They always do. They kind of dry and yellow a little bit over the years. Well, not dry, but age and yellow a little bit over the years. So everything's a little more yellow than it would have been fresh, but it's matching up pretty good. So buttermilk time. The white is never actually a white. You can actually see it originally would have been white, but now it's like a yellowed kind of buttermilk look. You can see under the post too. So under the post it looks white, but the rest of it looks yellow. Everybody always says, "Oh, it's nicotine, it's nicotine." Ah. Yeah, nicotine does some things, but I don't think it's smoke. I think it's just exposure to light yellows it. Because everything has like a clear coat over it of sprayed on varnish or something. I don't know what their process was, but whatever that is, it yellows exposed to light. But because you can see where all the posts are, it's more white. Could be nicotine, but I don't think it's nicotine. So I got all these different colors. This is cool white. You can see it's nothing even close to cool white. And then I've got whitewash. Nothing even close to whitewash. Snow white. Not even close. Warm white, so that's the difference, right? It's more of a warm color. Not even close. So then I have light buttermilk. So that's not even a white, that's more of like a buttermilk color, right? But look at it close. Even that's too light. Because it's light buttermilk. It looks like it's dark enough, but it's not. So then I have buttermilk. Look, that's nowhere near white. Right? And that's a lot closer, So what I usually do is I'll take some variation of buttermilk, light buttermilk, just depending on how faded it is. And then if you mix in something that's kind of like a goldish brown, it kind of gives it that yellow kind of tinge. That one's probably a little bit, no, this is the one. So this antique gold I've had a lot of good luck with. You mix a little bit of this in with whatever you're doing, and it moves it towards that look that you've got on the Playfield. So we're going to take the buttermilk, I'm going to paint it on there and see how it looks, and then if it's too vivid or bright or whatever, I'm going to darken it up a little bit with some of this antique gold. And I'll get a little mixture and then I'll show you painting it on. Okay, so our lucky thing is that the paint, the wear is way up the Playfield. So this is the buttermilk with nothing mixed into it. You can see that it's too light though. So I'm going to put just a little bit of this antique gold in it and see if I can darken it up a little bit. And then when I get it a little bit more gold yellow looking, that should be good. If you're trying to match a color, it's usually better if you make the color darker than the color you're trying to. If you can't get it perfect, you'd rather be darker than lighter, you know, just because it looks aged when it's darker. But if it's lighter, it looks like somebody repainted it. So let me mix a little bit of this antique gold in and see if I can darken it up just. All right, so we're in a situation where we've pretty much got it all done except for the green. And it's the same problem that I ran in on the last one. It's like a neon green, which I have pretty much an exact match right out of the bottle. But it's just so damn thin because it's neon that you have to put like 10 coats on it. So I've started putting it on, but it's just going to take all kinds of time. So I'm just going to put coat after coat after coat. But you can see that the light blue is a pretty good match. You can see right there up at the top that it's off a little bit. But I also painted in all of this, you know, and it's a pretty good match. The buttermilk, pretty good match. I mean, all of this is the original, and then that's the repainted. I need to put some black lines back in, but we're pretty good. But this green is going to be a damn issue. So I'm just going to keep at it and keep at it and keep at it and keep at it and see if I can get it closer. Look how good of a match that is. It's perfect. It's just so thin. So you can put it on thick, but then it looks lumpy, you know. So you got to put thin coat, thin coat, thin coat, thin coat. But luckily that's the only place that it's an issue. So I'll just keep at it and keep at it and keep at it. And it should get better and better and better with each coat. But I'm also going to touch up some of the black around some of the inserts. So like I did those two, but I didn't do those two. So I'm just going to keep working it, and I'll show you how it turns out, and then we'll clear coat it. Okay, so I did coat after coat after coat after coat after coat, and it did green it up, but I mean, it's not... I'm not super happy with that, but it's better than it was last time. And it's certainly better than it was all worn. So I have to put the black lines back in. Hopefully that'll help it a little bit. And then we have to clear coat it. But anytime it's like a really bright pink or a really bright green, which is these freaking Williams games, man. They did this on about 10 games there in a row. And it's hard to match it. I don't know what kind of paint they were using, but it's about as good as I can get it. Like I mentioned before, though, thankfully, it's way up there. I mean, look how far back. Look, we're way back here playing it. You can't see that that's the wrong color, can you? Come on. Come on, you can't tell. And since we're talking about that, you've forgotten that I redid all this. Come on. Come on. Like, all that's gone. And remember, this whole thing was missing. So and then now you've forgotten about that up there. People, it's not that big of a deal. I don't know why you keep bringing it up. Okay, folks, so we got it all cleared. Looks pretty good. It's a little mottled because we touched it up, so you can kind of tell. But and then up here, not super happy with the green, but it's much better than it was. I think it's all going to come together once we get all the plastics on it. So the first thing I'm going to do, now that we've got it all cleared and painted and all of that, is I'm going to wax it all up, and then we're slowly going to start putting all of the parts back on it. But we need to repaint that apron, that top arch, a blue color. So I'm going to see if Joe can do that. He's real good at that. So we'll slide it over to him, see if he can get a blue on it, and we'll go from there. But I'm going to start putting the wax on it and putting it all back. Okay folks, so we got it all finished up. I had to do a couple other little things on the light bulbs. So those dark spots on the left and right, there's no bulb there, so it's made like that. But the two pop bumpers, we had to replace all of the pop bumper goodies. And then the top left light, the top right light, and the top middle light, those three lights were acting up. So I fixed one of the sockets. It just needed solder. It wasn't soldered for some reason. And then the two other sockets, I put a little jumper on them to get them nice and bright. So they look great now. And we put the arch on the top. Came out pretty good. Little spray bomb action on that. You can see we got a lot of blues going on here. There are a lot of different levels of blue. But I think it came out pretty good. Here's the pop bumper goodness. Goodness gracious. Could have just left them. I mean, they still work like that. They just don't look good. And we printed new instruction cards. So I think it's getting there. But the thing does not work properly yet. So we're going to have to do another video of us fixing it, actually getting it to actually do its thing, troubleshooting it, and going through the schematics. And I know that's usually everybody's favorite videos. This little thing here is kind of interesting. There's a little black piece you saw me put on there that hangs down and holds the balls so that they won't fall out. And so you hit it with your pinball, but it's low enough that it never actually touches that black piece. So it looks like it has kind of a rubberized coating originally on it, probably so it doesn't chip the balls, but that's a little cracked, but it came out all right. And that's about it. So it came out pretty good, I think. I think it looks pretty decent. What do you think? We're starting to get there. You can see it with the back glass now. We already did the back glass video. So we're getting there. So we're going to do another video of us actually fixing it. Let's see if it'll do anything when I hit start. Something's tripping. It doesn't like if the ball is in the out hole. What the hell? So we still got issues, obviously, right? It's kind of acting up. Now, it was working good enough that it reset the score reels on the last video, but now we're to the point where it's not starting a game right still. So we'll have to figure all that out and track it down. But fear not, we'll get it. Maybe it's a miscrossed wire. Maybe I got a color wrong on one of them wires. But we'll see. So leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. Make sure to give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it. What do you think about the Playfield? Did it turn out good enough? Did you even remember to look up there on the left where I didn't get the trees quite right? What do you think about all that? So leave your comments and let us know what you think. Watch out for those neons. They're tough. And we'd like to thank everybody that's been using our Amazon links. If you don't know about that, there's a link down below to Amazon, or different ones for different countries. And if you're going to buy anything on Amazon, if you buy it after you click that link, it gives us a little tip. So thank you to everybody that's been doing that. And then also, check out my brother Donnie. That's my brother's channel. He's literally my brother Donnie. And he's over there always getting into something. He had a bumper sticker made that he got for Christmas that said, YouTube, my brother Donnie, always into something, or something like that. So he's going to slap that on his truck, I guess. But go check him out. I'm over there with him right now. We're working on this little building we bought that we're trying to fix up and rent. So we'll see you over there, and we'll see you here on the next video, which will probably be tomorrow.